Now you've got the hang of moving things around in edit mode, it's time to master manipulating objects. Just as well, because Connie's friend Cuthbert fell asleep in the Dreamiverse and got stranded. Yes, he's a cube with legs. Connie didn't choose her friends. I did. So, we need to fix these platforms if she's going to reach the flag and get to Cuthbert. Before we start, you can switch to play mode to see how a player would experience this scene. You'll always need to test things out in play mode while dream shaping, so it's a good habit to get into. Press the options button, then select play mode with X. Its icon looks like a controller. Once you're in play mode, take control of Connie with R2, and we'll see how far she can go. Start by jumping over to the first platform. Oh dear, looks like it's too far for Connie. Move that first platform closer. To do that, head back into edit mode. So, open the options menu and select the button with the pencil icon. Once you're in edit mode, move on to the next step. We have to do something about these platforms if Connie's gonna reach the other side. First, let's get a good look at them. Move your view side on to Connie and the first pink platform. Don't forget, you can hold L1 while using the left stick to strafe up and down. See the dotted outlines? That's where the platforms should be. So let's put them in place with the Move tool. The imp has this equipped by default. To move things, hover the tip of your imp over them and press and hold R2. Move it where you want it and release R2. Try it now with the first movable platform. Grab it with R2, slide it over so it lines up with the pink outlines, and release R2. You can get a slower, more precise movement if you hold R2 softly. Use the left stick to move the platform backwards, forwards, left and right. And if you need to try again, just undo your action by pressing the left directional button. You may have noticed that objects move more freely here in edit mode than in the home space. That's because their auto guide gadgets are disabled by default in the guides menu. I'll explain more about this in another tutorial, but for now, you don't need to worry about it. It just means you have more freedom to dream shape. When the platform is in the right spot, you're ready for the next step. Now that the first platform's in position, let's test it out. Open the options menu and select play mode with X. Connie's on the starting platform, ready for another try. Take control of her with R2 and see if she can jump over the gap now. Hope she made it this time. If not, you can always go back and edit things again. In fact, let's try doing that now and see what happens. Select edit mode from the options menu. Look at that. Connie isn't in her starting place anymore. That's because time passes when you're in play mode. And the scene doesn't rewind automatically when you return to edit mode. Instead, things will be frozen in the state you left them when you were playing. Always keep this in mind when switching modes. But you can easily rewind things. Just press L3 by clicking in the left stick on your controller. Now time's rewound back to the beginning. Doing this won't reset any changes you made in edit mode. See? Connie is back to her starting position, but the platform remains where you left it. Try to get into the habit of rewinding time after you play scenes. That way, you'll avoid any problems. There are times when it's useful to leave things as they are after playing, but when in doubt, rewind. Okay, if your platform's in the right place and you've had a successful test run with Connie, you can move on to the next step. Let's sort out the next platform now. It's the middle one that's lying on its side. Before you can match it up with the outline, you'll need to stand it upright. So you'll have to rotate it first. You can rotate objects in edit mode by grabbing them with L2. That's right, we won't be using R2 this time. When you grab things with L2, you can rotate them in place, instead of moving them around the scene. Now that the first platform's in position, let's test it out. Open the options menu and select play mode with X. Connie's on the starting platform, ready for another try. Take control of her with R2 and see if she can jump over the gap now. Hope she made it this time. If not, you can always go back and edit things again. In fact, let's try doing that now and see what happens.
Sorry guys, I missed a slight part.
Look at that. Connie isn't in her starting place anymore.
Ah, there we go.
That's because time passes when you're in play mode.
No.
Let's sort out the next platform now. It's the middle one that's lying on its side. Before you can match it up with the outline, you'll need to stand it upright. So you'll have to rotate it first. You can rotate objects in edit mode by grabbing them with L2. That's right, we won't be using R2 this time. When you grab things with L2, you can rotate them in place, instead of moving them around the scene. Give it a go now. Hover over the fallen platform, then press and hold L2. Now you can rotate it by tilting your controller. This is a great way of making smaller adjustments. You can also rotate it fully by using the left and right sticks while holding L2. The platform will rotate in different directions depending on how you push the sticks. The motion sensor function is disabled when you do this, so you don't have to worry about tilting your controller. If you want to reactivate the motion sensor function, just let go of the shape and grab it again with L2. Bear in mind that your IMP's tip is at the center point of the rotation, so you can grab the platform at different points and see how it affects the rotation. All that rotating has made the platform a bit wonky. So let's undo all that with the left directional button and start again. Grab and hold L2 over the platform and try to rotate it into a vertical position. Once you have it more
Not
or less
anymore yesterday.
let go of L2.
Got back to it just a minute ago,
This
just to
time,
have a look
grab
at
the
some of
platform
the
with R2,
extra
so you
levels.
can move it into the matching blue outline. Remember, holding R2 more softly will let you move the platform with more precision. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you can try rotating it with the touchpad
Going
too.
through some of the creative stuff now,
That's quite a
because
lot of
it's
buttons to
something that I
remember, isn't
do
it?
want to do.
Well, if you ever forget what to press, just look at the prompts around your IMP.
Oh
Or
no,
select
that
the mode icon
sucks.
in the top left of the screen with X. They'll show you what buttons you can use in any situation. Practice rotating things with L2 until you're comfortable. Then move on to the next step. Now that you know how to rotate objects, here's a useful
Take
tip.
care, mate.
When you rotate something by hand, like this platform, it might end up a little wonky. But there's a really simple way of fixing that. You can realign objects by grabbing them with L2 or R2 and then pressing triangle. This will snap whatever shape you're grabbing to the nearest right angle. Make sure you're grabbing an object before you press triangle though, or you might end up deleting it. If you do delete something by accident, remember you can undo your mistake by pressing the left directional button. Once you're happy with the position and alignment of the middle platform, you should switch over to play mode and test it out. So, select the controller icon in the options menu and possess Connie to see how far she can get. You're almost there now. Just switch back to edit mode and fix that final platform. Remember to rewind time with L3. Now we can go on to the next step. Now the only thing separating Connie from Cuthbert is the final platform. Oh, it looks a bit small compared to the others. I'm not sure Connie will be able to use it, no matter how much you rotate it. Let's learn how to make objects bigger, or as we dream shapers say, scale them up. Scale objects up or down by using the up and down directional buttons. Hover over the final platform now, and hold the up directional button to make it bigger. The square on the floor tells you what size the platform's base needs to be. It's also a good idea to get the top of the platform level with all the others. Remember how the imp was the center point of a rotation earlier? Well, here its position determines where the object scales from. Try hovering over the platform in different places and see how that affects the scaling. And if it gets too tall, you can just hold the down directional button to shrink it. Now that you know how to move, rotate and scale things, you should be able to get the final platform into its matching frame at the right height. Okay, when everything is where it should be, go into play mode and see if Connie can reach the flag. Once Connie reaches the flag, head into edit mode again and go to the next step. Hurrah! Connie and Cuthbert have been reunited, but now they need to find a way out before Cuthbert falls asleep again. So let's learn how to find a door in the Dreamiverse. Go to the assembly menu, which is the row of buttons at the top of the screen. The assembly menu disappears when you're busy working on a scene, to make sure it doesn't get in the way. So if you can't see it, just press square to open it. Here you'll find all the assembly tools, modes, and gadgets. If you ever wonder what a button does, just hover over it for a few seconds to see more info. This menu is also where the search button lives. It's the one with the magnifying glass. Select it now with X. The search button takes you to the Dreamiverse, where you'll find all the things created by dreamers from around the world. But for this tutorial, I've selected a collection of elements that you can use in this scene. Let's see if we can find a door in the Start Dreaming collection. Select it with X. Have a look around. What elements do we have here in the collection? Ah, there it is. A door. Select it with X now. Now that it's on your imp, you can scale it with the up and down directional buttons, or rotate it with L2 or the touchpad. See the outline at the top of the final platform? That's where the door needs to go. Use R2 or X to stamp it into place. You should know this isn't just any door, it's a very special one. Because of the animation and logic built into it, it will magically open when Connie goes near it. Notice how your imp still has a door attached even after you've stamped it down? That's what happens with elements from the Dreamiverse. That way, you can place as many as you need in a scene. We only need one door in this scene though, so you can remove the door element from your imp by pressing circle. The circle button removes whatever tool, gadget or element your imp has equipped, replacing it with the move tool. Okay, I think we're done here. Nice work completing the scene. It doesn't mean you have to stop though. If you're feeling creative, why not come up with different ways for Connie to get across the platforms, using more elements from the collection? Just delete the old platforms with triangle and build your own. Remember to test your creations in play mode to make sure they work, and rewind time when you return to edit mode. All that's left now is to switch to play mode and walk Connie straight through the door to end this tutorial. Now you know how to grab, rotate, and scale objects. It's time I showed you how to clone things. Cuthbert has managed to get himself stuck again. Luckily, I've set up this scene so that we can use the clone tool to rescue him. With this tool, you can make exact copies of anything in the scene. This makes it one of the most useful tools in a Dreamshaper's toolbox. You'll also get a chance to practice with all the other tools that you've learned so far. If we get Connie off this platform, maybe she'll help us out. Let's use the clone tool on this one small block to create a bridge.
It's crazy, isn't
Remember
it?
how we
It's
used
such a
the
good
L1
game.
button to modify how the grab cam and the left stick work? Well, it can also change how the grab button works. Hover over the floating block with your imp and hold L1. Now grab the block with R2, and remember that if you press it gently, you can move it more slowly. Now you have another block. That's because grabbing things while holding L1 creates a clone of that object. Once you've created the clone, you can release L1, but don't let go of R2 until you're ready to place it in the scene. When you've found the right spot, release R2 to put it down. You can treat a cloned object just like you would any other element. You can move it with R2 and rotate it with L2. And scale it up and down with the directional buttons. Of course, anything you do to the block can be undone with the left directional button. You can even clone the cloned block.
How are you
Let's do
finding
that
the game,
next.
droid?
Hover over it, hold L1, then press and hold R2. You can use the clone tool to build a bridge between the first two platforms. Or you can create floating blocks for Connie to jump on. All that matters is that she can get to the next platform, so make sure you test your work in play mode. When Connie can get across, go back to edit mode, rewind time with L3, and move on to the next step. Getting Connie to that third platform looks easy enough. There's half a bridge between them, so we can just clone this block to finish it off. Okay, hold L1 and grab the block with R2 to clone it. Let go of L1 to stop cloning, then place the clone by releasing R2 to complete the bridge. That doesn't look quite right. Might need to try something different here. Why don't we rotate the clone? Hold L2 over it, then push the right stick sideways. Well, it's better, but now they don't match. We should probably undo everything with the left directional button and start again. This time, we'll make the arches match up by flipping the clone. Here's how you flip objects. First, hover over the arch and hold L1. Then gently grab the arch with R2 to create a clone. Remember, release L1 once you've made the clone. You have to release it or the next part won't work. Here comes the cool bit. While still holding the arch, click the L3 button on your controller to flip the arch horizontally. That's all there is to it. Now you try. Hold L1 and grab the arch with R2 to clone it. Release L1 and flip the arch horizontally by clicking L3. And don't forget, you can realign the clone while you're holding it by pressing the triangle button. Now, let's see what happens if you click R3. Nice! The arch is flipped vertically instead. We should probably line it up with the first arch now, and release R2 to place it down. Ah! We probably should have flipped it back first. No problem. Just grab it with R2 and flip it again with R3. Time to switch over to play mode and see how things are working. If Connie can get across the bridge to the third platform, you're ready to move on. But first return to edit mode and rewind time. Okay, Connie, we've almost made it to the door. Ah, but she needs to go across and up now. Good thing you already know how to make clones because we're gonna need them. So hold L1 and grab the block with R2 to clone it. Now place that clone a little higher than the original, and you know what? There's a better way, so let's undo that with the left directional button. We're gonna try a new technique called repeat cloning. I bet you can already guess what it does. That's right, it lets you make lots of clones at once. Let's give it a go. Hover over the block again, hold L1 and press and hold R2.
Yeah, definitely.
Release L1 once you've made the clone. And move the block up and along. Don't put it down yet though. This is where you become a cloning expert. Without letting go of the first clone, press the right directional button to create a second one. And, you guessed it, another press will create a third one. In fact, you can just keep pressing right to create more and more clones in a sequence. And if you make too many, no problem. Just press the left directional button to remove any clones you don't want.
Left direction.
As you can see, all the clones are spaced evenly, and you can move the whole sequence by simply moving the clone that's on your imp. If you move the clone up, you can create a staircase. As always,
Fair
put it down
enough.
by releasing R2. Once the clones are in place, they won't be in a sequence anymore. You'll have to edit each block individually. See the dotted line around them? That's a selection.
Screw it. I do.
When you put repeat clones down, they're always selected automatically. That means you can move them as a group. If you only want to move one block, you can deselect the group by pressing circle.
I really want to make a
If you
level,
want
but
to find
there's
out
so
more,
much.
there's a whole tutorial on selecting and grouping objects. Move on to the next step when you're ready. Let's get back to the staircase. It's looking pretty good, but I have one more thing to show you before you move on.
Yours, maybe.
Let's get rid of all the clones we've made by pressing the left directional button a few times. You'll notice all the repeated clones are undone together.
Nope.
Now hover over the first block, hold L1, then grab it to create a new clone. Remember to release L1 once you've made the clone, otherwise the next bit won't work.
Ah, right.
This time, move the block where you want
Definitely.
the last step of the staircase to be. There, right in front of the door. Don't let go of R2 yet though. Instead, press the left directional button and
Oh,
look
here
at
we
that.
go.
You've created a sequence of clones between your imp and the original block.
Gotcha.
You can keep pressing left to create more steps or right to remove them. Once you're happy with your staircase, let go of R2 to place it in the scene.
Yeah, that'll do.
You can create incredible shapes with repeat cloning, so feel free to experiment. How you position the first clone will affect all the repeated clones. Rotating the clones, for example, will let you build ramps and spirals. And if you scale the clone with the up button, you can create a sequence that increases in size. So try different approaches and see what you can come up with. If the
just stick
path
with
is
that for a
clear for
minute.
Connie, switch over to play mode to test the scene. Get Connie to the final platform, then get her to open the door for Cuthbert. If you feel like you've mastered cloning and flipping, walk Connie through the door to complete the tutorial. Good work.
Looking forward to seeing what's going to be added.
Welcome to part 4 of our Start Dreaming tutorials. Ah, I see Cuthbert has managed to get himself in a pickle again. Connie, how do you put up with him? What a spanner. But with Connie's help, we can rescue him. This time around, I'll show you how to select and group your creations and how to scope in and out of groups. Luckily, someone left behind a block for us to use. Remember how to repeat clone blocks to create a bridge? Well, let's do that again. Move your view side on to the block and the gap. Hold L1, then grab the block with R2. Move it with the motion sensor function to create a clone. Just like last time, let go of L1 while still holding R2, then press the directional buttons to make more clones. If you rotate the first block a little before you clone it, you can make an arch. Use L2 to make the first block angle up slightly, then make the clone angle down.
No, you're right, that do.
Press the left directional button to repeat clone, and the clones will line up to make an arch. Amazing, right? Let's quickly test that in play mode. Looks great. Switch back to edit mode, rewind time, and go to the next step of the tutorial. Now, you probably noticed that all the blocks, the original as well as its clones, were selected automatically after cloning. You can tell when things are selected because they have an animated dashed outline. But after we switched between play and edit modes, everything was deselected. So let's select them again. All you have to do is hover your imp over one of the blocks and press X. There's the outline again. Now do the same to the rest until the whole bridge is selected. Can you see how each block has its own outline, with a double line where they meet? That's because they're still individual elements. You can deselect them one at a time with X, but it's much quicker if you deselect them all at once with circle. Give it a try. There's also a faster way of selecting multiple objects. Just select one as before, but this time keep X held down. Now move your imp to select the others. Better than selecting one at a time, right? So much faster. The great thing about having multiple objects selected is that you can manipulate them as if they were one object. For example, if all the blocks are selected, you can clone the bridge sideways to create a double bridge. Plenty of room for Connie to cross it without falling off the edge. Try it in play mode. Once Connie is across the gap, go back to edit mode and move on to the next step.
Oh. Crap. Screw it. That's it.
You know, this bridge would be really useful to help Connie cross to the next platform. Use X to select all the blocks again. If we're going to use this bridge a lot, we can make it into a group. That way, it will behave like a single element and you won't have to keep selecting all the blocks. Have you noticed the menu at the side of the screen? It appears when you have one or more objects selected. That's the context menu. The options it gives you will depend on the situation you're in.
It's such a pain in the ass.
Relate to selected objects. Look for the plus sign. That's the icon for the group button. The number next to it tells you how many objects.
Hey dude, are you okay?
You can use this button now to turn all of those blocks into a group. There we go. The bridge is now a single element. You can tell because it has one outline around it instead of one around each block. And if you look over at the context menu, you'll see the group button now says ungroup. Use it if you want to break a group up. But we still need it to help Connie.
Oh.
So let's clone this bridge and place it between the second and third platforms. Just like before, hold L1 and grab the bridge with R2 to clone it. As always, remember to let go of L1.
Oh, shite. That'll do.
Ah, we don't need to test the bridge to see that it's not going to get Connie to the third platform. But don't worry, we'll fix that in the next step when you're ready to move on.
God knows what I've done there.
Our bridge needs a bit of work if it's going to reach the next platform. This is the perfect opportunity to learn a new technique, scoping in. Scoping in means you can jump into a group and edit the contents individually without having to ungroup it first. And since you can only edit things inside the group, You don't have to worry about messing up anything outside it. Let's give it a try now. Select the bridge with X if it isn't already selected. Then find the scope in button near the bottom of the context menu.
Yeah, it's great. So much to learn, though.
Showing you a shortcut for it.
Did you manage
L1
to get it?
And X. So hover over the bridge group, hold L1 and press X. Now you're scoped in. We can now edit all the parts as if it wasn't a group. If you want to really focus on just the group, you can hide everything else in the scene. Just use the Hide Everything Else button in the context menu. The icon looks like a closed eye. There's also a Scope Out button in the top right corner. This is how you exit groups. Try scoping out now. Select the button with X or use the shortcut, L1 and circle. That's it. Now scope back in again so we can fix the bridge. Just hover over it, hold L1 and press X. I think what Connie needs to reach the next platform is a staircase. So use the move and clone tools to create a new one.
Yeah, just delete it all. Screw it. So much to learn. Oh. Why's the dude stop talking?
Once you've built the staircase,
oh, there it goes.
Test it out in play mode to make sure Connie can make it across. When you're happy with it, switch back to edit mode, rewind time, and move on to the final step of this tutorial.
There you go. That'll do.
Is your staircase
I know how to do that part.
Fantastic.
That other one just totally
now
confused
Connie
me.
just needs a bit more help to save poor old Cuthbert from his predicament. Luckily, you can clone your staircase group to reach the final platform.
Right.
Use the clone shortcut L1 and R2 to copy the staircase group to the last platform. Don't forget to let go of L1 once the clone has been created. That's how useful groups are. If you select the group, you'll see a button in the context menu that saves the group as a new element. Saving a group as a new element means you can use it in other scenes or share it in the Dreamiverse. You can't do that in tutorials, but you can everywhere else. Now that you've mastered selecting and grouping, I'll leave you with a thought to ponder. You can also make a group inside a group.
Where the hell am I going?
With that, I'll let you experiment. Once you're happy that you've mastered selecting, grouping and scoping, you have just one thing left to do. Go into play mode and take Connie and Cuthbert to the exit.
It's a whole lot to learn. It. Little Big Planet was easier, definitely. Where the hell am I? Come down. This really shouldn't have been live streamed. I'm looking like a right knobhead. Come on. There we go. I'm glad that I'm not the only one. Right, let's go into play. There you go. Got there in the end. Yeah, definitely. Right, I think that's it. Oh, that's... Oh my god. Really? That was just part one? Wow. Let's watch other people. Let's play other people's. See what they got on offer. Someone else. Right. Tell my kids are on at last. It's just... I really didn't expect it to be so much. How these other guys do it is beyond me. It's crazy. Um, oh. Yeah, that's not doing nothing. Right. So I go on someone else. Definitely. I mean, some of these guys, when they had that first few, or what, like, they had a few weeks with it, first of all, and what they come up with is incredible. What's the favourite one that you've done so far then? It's things like this, look at it, it's incredible. Gives you a whole lot of, you appreciate it a whole lot more once you try creating, definitely. Yeah, that's I've done about a 5-hour gameplay video yesterday, and just looking at all the stuff that they add, but some of the stuff which's been added is excellent. Yeah, Beatman was brilliant. That Battletops was pretty cool as well. I really enjoyed that one. Something so simple yet so addictive. Oh. Fuck. Oh, cool. It's I can't remember the name. I swear it's Battletops. It's called. Wow. Apparently it's supposed to be all of it, but I'm not too sure. And according to a few of their things that they've done, it's supposed to be quite easy to your games you've already created. It's supposed to be quite easy to change over to VR. Yeah, I was exactly the same. But over here in the UK it was 10:05. It was not supposed to be on sale until 10:30. So luckily I got it straight away. Let's try and find that Battletops one. There it is, Battletops. Yeah, I was reading that. That was one of the last places. Oh, don't the Japanese have to wait till next Thursday? I was reading somewhere. Yeah, snap. Oh, crap. Yeah, definitely. I was finding it difficulty just huge difficulty just a minute ago. Creating. Whoa. My kids do. Kids get all this stuff a lot more than me. I know. They tried to get me to play Fortnite. It took me half an hour to create a set of stairs. The built all these skyscrapers. The way I looked at it was, at the moment it's 25 quid anyway, so, or in the UK, so you spend 25 quid, that's it, that's all you have to pay. I love Little Big Planet. I've got all three and the beta version. Oh. Yeah, definitely. You know, you just think that's going to be cut down again, because they were showing off the PlayStation 5 to some, I think it was Verge, yeah, and they played Spider-Man, and they got the loading times down to 0.8 seconds. So you can imagine what it's going to be like for this. Oh, crap. Oh no. Oh, for God's sake. One more try. There we go. Yeah, I think the price is going up. Yeah, that's what I thought. They said it was going to go up to 50. Oh, it was 50 or 60. Okay. Oh. Ah, typical. Nope. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah, see, that's the reason why I did buy it now, because I know that they did say that it was going to go up, but I'm not sure how much by. Always worth it if it's on sale still. Yeah, I hope so too. That's cool. Oh. Can't wait till you get some of these fully fledged games. Oh. I mean, it's credible what they've done now. Yep. You pay what you've paid now. Oh crap! What you've paid now is all you'll ever pay, and you'll have the game now until release. It's not gonna stop anytime. I mean, they might take servers down to fix them and stuff, like most online games. Oh. What a suck at platformers. Yeah, it's... Whoa. With the... Oh, updates. Shit. With the updates there, I think they're adding extra creation tools and bits as well. So we're in it while they're constantly working on it still. No, not at the moment. That what you're looking at is so weird. What's this one? Nope. For creation, I think I'm gonna use my move controllers. Seems they were sort of built for this sort of game. Oh crap. Oh. VR is one of my main reasons for getting this game. Today on my channel I've put, yeah, I got Beat Saber. On my channel I've put a new game called Table of Tales, which the developer sent to me. Gave me a code. That's one worth having a look at. Oh crap. Looking forward to No Man's Sky in VR. That'll be a good one.
Hey there, Otto. The name's Doug. Doug the Cave Pixie. I'm here to help escort you to Mount Olympus, where you will help Zeus save the world. Ugh, I'm so pumped. Let's do this.
That's cool.
Doug? Well, anyway, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's getting an update. Oh. Getting an update in the summer, and it's gonna add VR. Oh crap. Exactly the same. Done a few courses for things like moons and planets and stuff. Huge fan of anything to do with space. But yeah, if you check out Sony's site, they have the No Man's Sky VR trailer.
Woo-wee! Man, that's nice. Da-da-da-da.
Have you played the Haunted Mansion, I think it's called? That's pretty cool. Yeah, the PT looks awesome.
This book has taught me how to telepoot. Alaka-zupa-poot. Alaka-zupa-poot. Alaka-zupa-poot.
Oh.
Alaka-zupa-poot.
No, I've not tried that one.
Alaka-zupa-poot.
It's pretty cool. Like the branching. No, just everything you got on
What's up, little man?
No Man's Sky already,
Oh,
that's
hey,
it.
you can talk?
Everything
That's
is
so
going to be
cool.
playable in VR.
Yeah, so, well, anyway, you're kind of the first person or whatever that I've met here. And anyway, I'm supposed to be this guy at Mount Olympus.
I think
and
it's move
I'm thinking maybe I'm
controllers,
just
so
kind of a wizard.
you can use your gun as
You was looking for a wizard?
using the move controller.
Why are you laughing at me?
Take care, mate.
Stop laughing at me! Oh, come on, man. Okay, I get it. Go ahead. Is there somebody else I can talk to, maybe?
Nope.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Oh, this hurts.
It's incredible.
Oh, this does not feel good.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What's going on?
Compose you.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Compose you.
What's going on?
Compose you.
Yeah, I do.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? The hell?
Yeah,
The wizard
I
has
reckon
blown
so.
himself up.
Oh, this does not feel good.
Looking forward to the under the water. I've still not been back on since they've done the sea creatures. So I bet that'd be cool. That's really good. Actually, I'll add that one tomorrow. Look at things like this. It's just shows you what can be made. I used to play a lot with my best mate, but then come all the Christmas time games like Battlefield and stuff, and I just stopped playing. Yeah, mine is Doomsday 619 if you'd like to add me. See, the freighters, if you just travel into a certain galaxy, you can fight some pirates, and when you fight the pirates, sometimes they'll just give you a freighter for free. The freighter I've got is a free one. All right. Can't remember. It's been a while since I last played. I'm gonna have to get back on at some point. I think I'll put in about 120 hours worth of gameplay into that No Man's Sky. My next big game that I'm getting though is that Days Gone. Any of you like getting that one? Alright. I'm not too sure where I am. Yeah, see, that the guy who created No Man's Sky said that there's a third thing to be announced, and he's not announced what it is yet. So it does look really good. crap. Of course, like lemons. You see that Burboys, he looks pretty good as well. Surprised by that one. Yeah, exactly. I love Dead Rising. Not played any of the recent ones though. When they started going to Xbox, I've got an Xbox, but still not got around to playing them yet. Oh. Oh, crap. With that and all the VR games lately, just constantly out of money. Yeah, last year's wasn't pretty. I don't mind my Battlefield games. I like them. Yeah, but I think that's all I really got last year. Lemons. I used to love lemmings when I was younger. I saved a lot of my cash for the January sale. I just bought a ton of VR games. It's one that you gotta get right into. I know I was gonna buy it as well. I didn't mind the beta, but when it come out in the amount of stuff that went wrong with it at the beginning. Oh, I've got the gun controller. See, with my VR games, I've been getting a lot lately sent by the developer, so that saved me a bit of money. Yeah.
Good night, sweetie. Go to bed now. And sweet dreams.
Oh. Space. Oh. Ah. Right.
Oh my, look at the mess you made. Tomorrow you have to clean that up. First thing in the morning. Okay.
Yeah, Fallout would be awesome.
Good night, sweetie.
Oh.
Go to bed now. And sweet dreams.
Kind of. With the power of the PS2, it seems it definitely will handle it. It's even backwards compatible as well with the PSVR 1, so I'm wondering if that'll give it any better graphics. I don't understand half the spec sort of stuff though. It's incredible. If you played the Rec Room version, that's pretty good. Amazing.
On Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. When his 10-year-old son came to investigate the commotion, the father shot him too. His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom, but reports suggest he lured her out by telling her it was just a game. The girl was found shot once in the chest from point-blank range. The mother, who he shot in the stomach, was pregnant at the time. The father purchased the rifle used in the crime at his local gun store 2 days earlier. This brutal killing took place while the family was gathered at
Even
home
playing a car game earlier, I changed the car view to in car, and you could hear the stuff coming out of the microphone from the from the controller, sorry.
His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom.
It does look really, it does sound really good.
The father purchased the rifle used in the crime.
On its way to heaven by your own hand. It's not too late if you act fast.
The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. When his 10-year-old son came to investigate, the father purchased the rifle used in the crime at his local gun store 2 days earlier. This brutal killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. When his 10-year-old son came to investigate,
Amazing. Crap. I don't know. I can't remember. Such a shame they never released the full game.
the father purchased the rifle used in the crime at his local gun store 2 days earlier. This brutal killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was behind you. I said, look behind you.
Okay, listen up and don't you move. Need to take a piss? Hold it. The show's got just 60 seconds to go. I got a message for all you folks out there in Radio Land. So sit tight and bend an ear. Now's the time for action. Our society is rotten to the core. I'm talking to all the fine, upstanding folks got their welfare cut, got their jobs pulled out from under them. Yeah, you know what to do. Now's the time. Do it.
I don't need no blue cells. All up in my
exactly. It's like the Mario they released. It was crazy, but they said that they're not going to do nothing unless the developers or copyright holders want them to take it off. Is that it, or?
The father purchased the rifle used in the crime at his local gun store 2 days earlier. This brutal killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up.
Go through right now. And stuff like this as well. Yeah, crap. That's it. Cool. Cheers, buddy. Enjoy it. It's excellent movie. Really enjoy it. Idea. Next so if you want to check out my channel, I've got a load of other VR games on there. If you want to check out games before you buy and that. Excellent. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, and if you got Twitter or anything, I've got a competition at the moment for a competition this week, and I've got a competition next week going for VR. Killed the giraffe. See, Twitter's my main source, but yeah, at the moment I've got a PlayStation VR Worlds competition going on. Yeah, and next week I've got Apex Construct for the PSVR. That's clever. Take care, mate. Yeah, thanks for watching anyway. Really do appreciate it. shit. Jump. Oh. No. Broke the car. Oh no.
At least you're not playing Fortnite, though.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Minecraft sort of thing. Right, I'm gone, but thanks for watching everyone, and hopefully you subscribe, and I'll be doing another playthrough tomorrow sometime. Take it easy.